Welcome to the Not Old Better Show on radio and podcast. The show covering all things health, wellness, culture, and more. The show for all of us who aren't old, we're better. Each week, we'll interview superstars, experts, and ordinary people doing extraordinary things, all related to this wonderful experience of getting better, not just older. Now, here's your host, the award-winning Paul Vogelzang.
Thank you. Good to be with you today. We talk an awful lot here about life lessons. What if the most powerful lessons in life come from a porcupine, a boxing rhino, or a dreamy little koala? Not just for children, but for all of us, especially those of us who've learned the hard way that strength doesn't come from size, that kindness is more than politeness, and that every fall holds a lesson. Today's episode is brought to you by Longevity Gummies, powered by Mitopure. And today on the Not Old Better Show, we meet the brilliant Milana Anderson, a multiple gold medal winning author whose 177 animal fairy tales are anything but ordinary. These stories are emotional, they're funny, they're surprising, and they don't just entertain kids. They speak to grown-ups, They speak to all of us, especially grandparents who might be reading along too. Milana Anderson grew up in Siberia and now creates unforgettable stories that mix animals' adventure and a deep understanding of what it means to grow through struggle. Her tales are infused with resilience, love, and imagination. Think storytelling as therapy with a dash of porcupine humor and rhino ambition. Milana Anderson is also expanding her creative universe with a new animated film, a children's game, and more books on the way. And yes, we'll talk about her Book X, a collection of love stories that just might make you tear up. This isn't just story time. It's a reminder that the lessons we pass down, the ones wrapped in laughter, character, and heart, can change lives. I'm Paul Vogelzang. You're listening to the Not Old Better Show, the Art of Living series. Our guest today is Milana Anderson. Let's get right into it. Gold medal winning. I love to say that, but gold medal winning author Milana Anderson is our guest today. Milana, welcome to the program. It's just a pleasure to be talking with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be on your station.
Well, thank you. I think the timing is really good for what you do. I know you've written, many books and stories, but I think with the holidays coming up, we're all kind of thinking about gifts. We're thinking certainly of spending time with family. I mentioned to you, and our listeners know that I'm a new grandpa. I have a grandson, and so I'm always looking for really good books to read to him. And I love reading. I came across your work and I thought, oh my gosh, this is so perfect for, grandparents and for all of us. And so I'm excited to get into it with you. You write what I would call fairy tales. I mean, you write other things too. We'll talk about that. But I want to talk about the fairy tales that you write because they're not just whimsical. We might think of fairy tales as being just kind of lighthearted, but these are deeply emotional. They're very meaningful. And I wonder if you could start maybe at your own beginning and tell us about your childhood in Serbia, where you grew up, and how that has shaped your writing, shaped your values, shaped the themes of the books that you write and the stories.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a big question.
It's a long question, so take your time.
I will start from my childhood since you mentioned it. So I was born in Siberia, and
I said Serbia. I'm sorry. I said Siberia. I apologize.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I like to read a lot, and I remember when I was reading those fairy tales, to me, it was always missing part. I never felt the characters. So because for some reason it never was elaborated their inner feelings, what they feel inside.
Yeah.
For example, there's the character got scared and ran. And to me, as a child, I was always wanted to feel what is it? Okay, he got scared. But what they feel inside. And so my goal was when I was writing fairy tales to describe their inner feelings in details and physical sensations. So my readers could literally be in their shoes of their characters and see the world through their eyes. That's what I got from my childhood.
Yeah.
And also, I wanted to make them very short stories because nowadays in a very fast-pacing life, kids they like everything fast, quick, short. But in those short stories, I did my best to put everything together to make them educational, to make them inspiring, to make them transforming, healing, guiding, all together.
Yeah.
Yes, and I blended my stories like old classical traditional style of fairy tales. I blended them with modern life. So kids, when they're reading, on one hand, it will be a fairy tale for them because there is some magic, right? The moments. But on the other hand, they would feel it's about their real life around them.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, they're lovely stories, and I agree with you. They do have a great deal of heart. You really do get a sense that these characters, these particularly the animal characters, are very relatable. I love the boxing rhino. I really enjoyed the grumpy porcupines with some boundary issues. I thought that was very clever. The koala who's just kind of in a dream state. But all of these animals with their heart, they face very relatable human challenges. And so I wonder, how do you go about developing these personalities so that both children and adults can see themselves? The fox, the skunk, all of these animals with their very powerful heart, you make them very relatable.
Mhm. No, first of all, when I was writing, I decided to make only animals because, in my opinion, for children, it would be easier to imagine themselves in those characters. Because I thought if I will use other boys or girls, they would they would take it as the story about other kids. But animals, they kind of faceless, right? And so
Yeah.
I thought it's easier for them to imagine themselves. And in my fairy tales, I didn't divide them to bad animals or good animals. So in every stories, I use the same animals in the good roles, in the bad roles.
Mhm. Mm.
For example, in one story, a snake, right?
Uh-huh.
Let's take a snake. In one story about a doctor, she's a very smart, kind, caring character who
Mhm.
created her own remedy
Mm.
to heal others.
Mhm.
But in the other story, she's a sneaky snake. She's a very dangerous character.
Yeah.
Or vultures, for example, vulture. In one
Yeah.
story, they're so mean, nasty, attacking the bear in the story. But in the other story, I show how they are team workers, family-oriented, how they have wise, they're so wise animals. So I'm using them in different ways. So kids shouldn't feel like, oh, if it's a fox, they're always like cunning fox. No, in another story, I show them as a very educated, intelligent character.
Mm.
So my aim was for kids to fall in love with the characters, with the animals. And so in real life, if, for example, they would see a bird or a squirrel or just a little bug, they should feel respect. If kids learning to how to care for animals, they would learn how to care for people.
Mhm. It's lovely. Yeah, it's lovely. It's a really lovely sentiment. And in my research of you, I found that you really treat these fairy tales as a means to inspire. Um, the heart is very real, very palpable, but you also give all of us this sense that we can imagine ourselves to be something, perhaps more. You mentioned the doctor, you refer to engineers and dancers, even pilots. Why is it so important to you as a writer of these stories that you make these books and these stories go beyond just entertainment to inspiration, again, beyond just fairy tales?
Yes, correct. Thank you for noticing it
Mm.
because it was very important for me. Again, as I remember myself when I was reading fairy tales, they were just unexisting stories, right? But to me, it was important. Like kids, they don't know a lot about professions, about
Mhm.
sport activities. So I wanted them to read and be inspired to love ice skating, to love wrestling, to love swimming, to love healthy way of life, to understand the dedication of firefighters or police officers. And maybe they will feel it, maybe somehow it will resonate with them and they will know who they want to be. Because I'm trying to elaborate like thrill of sport, or how beautiful is to be a doctor, or how amazing is to be a designer or a writer.
Mm.
So my goal was to inspire them to try everything until they will find what is resonates with them, who they would like to be in the future, or at least to respect everything around all
Mhm.
professions and all activities. Mhm.
Well, so for many in our audience who are grandparents, like me, I I wonder if you could describe to us the value of sharing stories, especially stories that are meant for us to feel, but meant for us to also be respectful of others and animals in particular. How do we go about sharing those stories across generations? And what's the role that grandparents, older adults can play in helping children understand and process some of these emotions that you're talking about through your stories?
Mm. If we're talking about different generations,
Mhm.
uh, no, as a parent, I would say when I was reading uh, the stories to my son as a parent. So usually we are very practical, right? Because we're trying to teach them the lessons, to explain them value, but we are doing it in very practical way, connecting them to that daily routine, daily life. Uh, but grandparents, they have different magic,
Yeah, yeah.
different approach. So even the way how they're reading is different. You can feel experience, patience, and wisdom. And the same things they're explaining differently because they have that long life view of those lessons.
Mhm,
So to me, it's very important for grandparents to be in touch, to read together.
mhm.
And you can see through all my fairy tales, they are very family oriented,
Yeah.
or to appreciate parents and grandparents and family.
Okay, so far we've met a boxing rhino, some grumpy porcupines with boundary issues, and a koala with bigger dreams than closet space. But hold on to your bookmarks because coming up, Milana Anderson shares how her stories are helping kids face their fears. Parents get a moment of peace. And yes, even grandparents finally understand why the fox is always the sneaky one. There's more heart, more laughs, and maybe even a few surprises still ahead. So don't wander off like that unlucky mouse. Stick with us. Hey, it's Paul. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're doing all the right things? You're walking daily, staying active, eating better, and yet you're still tired, not bouncing back like you used to, or just not quite feeling like yourself? If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. I've been there too. But something new has made a real difference for me. I want to tell you about our sponsor today, Longevity Gummies, powered by Mitopure, the first ever urolithin A gummy that's clinically proven to support strength, energy, and healthy aging, right down to the cellular level. Yes, cellular health. That's where it all begins. Our energy, our strength, our recovery, even our mental clarity. It's all connected. And as we age, those cellular batteries don't hold the same charge. But these gummies, they help recharge those batteries. In fact, they've been shown to increase muscle strength by up to 12% after just 16 weeks. That's real. That's measurable. That is improvement. And not from another pill, but from a delicious, clean, vegan gummy that fits easily into your daily routine. I keep mine right on the kitchen counter. It's the easiest thing I do for my health every day. And honestly, I've noticed the difference. More steady energy, better recovery from workouts, and a little more pep in my step on those long walks I enjoy so much with our dog. He's with me here right now. You might hear him there in the background. If you're looking to not just add years to your life, but life to your years, I really encourage you to try these. If you want to stay strong and energized now and as you age, then you have to try Mitopure gummies. My friends at Timeline Nutrition are offering 20% off just for Not Old Better Show listeners. Head over to timeline.com/NOB to get started. Yes, that is timeline.com/NOB. All of this will be in our show notes. And trust me, your cells will thank you. Gold medal winning author Milana Anderson is our guest today. Milana Anderson is originally from Siberia. He's written some wonderful fairy tales and some wonderful stories. I've titled this episode, you can hear my dog in the background. He's having a good time today with us today. I love animals, and you do such a nice job. I've titled this episode, as a matter of fact, Tales That Heal, Milana Anderson's Animal Heroes and the Power of Storytelling. Your books are just so creative, and I wonder, how do you, keep these stories so fresh, and so full of creativity and so full of heart, despite the fact that you've written over 177 of them? Hang on just a moment. Stop. Stop. Okay, he'll be a good boy now. So maybe tell us a little bit about how you're keeping some of these stories so fresh.
Mhm. So no one story has the same life lessons. So
Uh-huh.
they're all different. And my approach was easy. I just created two lists of qualities. First was list of positive qualities, something like kindness, loyalty, empathy, right? So that's how we have the stories: compassionate leopard, brave and antelope, or creative crane story. And also, I created the list of negative qualities, such as evil, cruel, jealousy. You can see my stories. They are like disrespectful mice, arrogant peacock, or stingy panda, like that.
Right.
So I was going, yes, through this one. So I was choosing the quality and then creating story around it.
Mhm.
Also, another approach I used popular expressions,
Yeah.
which I would like to elaborate for kids and explain it to them through the story. For example, expression is smile at life and life will smile at you. Or if one door closes, another opens. Like that expression. So kids
Yeah.
would understand. It would be clear for them what these expressions mean.
I think
And
that's wonderful.
and also
Yeah.
true stories. Behind each fairy tale, there is this some story of it, how it was born. So a lot of true stories I converted to the fairy tale. And some of them, maybe about 10 of them, I just retold existing fairy tales,
Hmm.
just from different point of view. Now, for example, probably you remember that story, it's called The Giving Tree, very
Yeah,
popular.
of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Silverstein,
Very
yeah.
popular.
hmm It's amazing story, and I decided to retell it in a different way. So, if you will read the story, which is called Selfish Buffalo. Yes, and it's the story about to stop being selfish and to be grateful to those who care about us. And sometimes it's not too late to fix our mistakes.
Lovely. That's it's just so inspirational. Thank you. Milana Anderson, of course, is our guest today, who's written these fantastic fairy tales, but you're also taking your work in kind of some new directions. You're writing some romantic stories. Maybe tell us a little bit about kind of this new direction that you're taking from fairy tales into kind of some of this new area of emotional storytelling, and what inspired you to go there?
Oh, yes. Now I'm working on the creating the movie,
Yeah.
animated movie. So through all my fairy tales, you can feel I'm writing, bringing up the message to be yourself.
Hmm.
Do not be like others. Do not pretend to be someone else. Do not copy the others. Like, be yourself, accept yourself who you are. And so from here, the idea was born about that animated movie. It's a full length movie. It's called Where Was I While I Was Me?
Hmm. Lovely. That's great talent. And it's an animated film.
Yes, it's
Uh-huh.
age group is going to be like 10 plus, and for
Okay.
children and
Good.
adults. So for
Good. So a
adults,
nice family movie.
yes, and for adults, it will be very useful to see. Some of us will be very, how to say, touched by that one because we
Uh-huh.
often betray ourselves. So
And
the
the
movie
title again,
basically,
tell us the title. Where were you when you were yourself?
where was I
Where
while
was it?
I was me?
Ah, got you. That's wonderful. Your work, it has such a therapeutic, uh, kind of message. It's very positive, but it also teaches us about, kind of how to feel, how to persevere, how to be better, perhaps even. And so I really like that for children. I see that in my own grandchild. It's so important to learn how to cope. It's so important to learn how to heal. What was it that you learned from your parents, perhaps, that uh, you know has taught you about this real effort on your part to teach us about coping and feeling and even healing?
Yes. That f- if we're talking about my parents, so they
Uh-huh.
always,
A little bit, yeah. Please.
yes, my parents, they were always so busy working hard.
Hmm.
And honestly, they never had time to read the books with me.
Yeah.
With us.
Yeah. That's too bad, huh?
They were just buying a lot of books to read, but never spend the time with us to explain something. I think it was just different time, or maybe it's some cultural things. So it's a missing part for me.
Hmm.
It's a missing part to read together with parents.
Hmm.
With grandparents, yes, I had
Yeah.
such experience, yeah. But my parents were always busy. And they never were sharing their feelings. That's how that I wrote the fairy tale. It's called Rabbit Stories. It's about touching moments when I'm explaining what the mother is feeling inside when she sees her child being so upset.
Hmm.
And I think it's important for kids to know, because usually we don't share with our kids, right? We don't share how we worry about them,
Mhm.
how it's painful for us to see when they sick, or they crying about something, or they feel sad, right? We trying to be cheerful, like, hey, everything is good. It's nothing. We can figure it out, everything, right? We trying to look strong. But inside we're different and we're not sharing. And so in this fairy tale, I describe the feeling of the mother inside so kids can understand the how they feeling. Parents, they just not showing, not saying.
One of the stories I recall, you talked about a one of the animals was a fox, and the fox was kind of sneaky, and I wonder what some of that represents to you, and perhaps do you have one story in particular that you just think is the most powerful and the most meaningful?
Ah, all of the me.
Yes.
But one of them, I love one of them. It's called Magic Doors. Magic Doors?
Hmm.
So three friends, they found a house full of magic doors, and every door had different sides, which lead to different life. So one of them picked a tiny cozy door and squeezed in. The second one chose the average one so he could walk comfortably. And third one chose the huge, almost a gate size of
Uh-huh.
the door. So and then I'm describing how their life is going on, depending on their size of door they choose. So, but the meaning was of this fairy tale, we are choosing our life, how it's going to be. We are making it. It's our choice. It's not
Mhm.
the fate.
Mhm.
It's our choice. We have to work on it. And also it's explaining the happiness comes in all sizes. It doesn't matter if this person lives in a tiny, tiny cozy house, it doesn't mean there is no happiness. So what brings happiness to one person might not bring it to the others. So
Mm.
that was my favorite one, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's lovely. Yeah. Yeah, I think that that's very true in life, that we do make our own way. We can make choices. I think it's important to point out to kids that they have the power to create their lives. And in so many of these stories, I saw this wonderful creativity and just this power of storytelling that you use to bring about some of this change so that kids are sparked to think about what it is that they can do themselves, not always having others do for them.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of stories about that, how they should make their own decision,
Uh-huh.
their own choice, and about consequences and learning lessons from them.
Mm.
And for me, it was important for them to understand that it's okay to make mistakes. As in an evil skunk story who ruined the well with the fresh water, or for them to it's okay to be different, like in a story about a cute hippo who wanted
Mhm.
to be ballerina, and it's okay to be afraid, like in a story fearful ostrich who was panicking easily, and it's okay to ask for help, as in a story bird and droppings. When kids in a sticky situation, sometimes they're scared to ask for help. So and it's important to voice up
Yeah.
if they cannot handle it themselves.
Well, Milana Henderson, you write with such purpose and with such beauty and such care for all of us. I wonder what you hope your legacy will be beyond just being a storyteller. This really is emotional medicine, I thought, for all of us, and it will go on for future generations. Is that how you see yourself too?
Yeah,
Uh,
I would be happy.
yeah.
So when
Um,
I was writing, I was writing from 2 points of view. First, as a writer,
yeah.
because I had the structure, right, to write the challenge, actions, consequences, lessons, and bring emotions. It was as a writer's positions, from the writer's positions. And also the second point was as a mother, uh, if I was analyzing if this story I would like to read to my child and what my child would take from this story, if it's very useful, if it's healing, if it's precious for them, and what they would remember. And so I hope it worked out. And I, I I would like for kids to remember to love and respect themselves first.
Mm.
And once they love and respect themselves, they know how to love and respect others. And love and respect from others will come back to them. And so if they will feel my stories in that way, I think it's what I would cherish most.
Well, Milana Anderson, thank you for your time. Thank you for this wonderful work. Again, Animal Fairy Tales. We'll have links in our show notes today where our audience can find out more information about author, award-winning filmmaker now. I know that you're going to be making a game. We're excited to see all that's coming from you, Milana Anderson. Thank you for your time, for your generous time today, and for this wonderful work. But our audience can find out more in the links, and I'll just be selfish and say to you, as you get closer to releasing your film, as you do more of this work, please come back and talk to us. I know our audience is just going to be so interested in learning more about you and all that you do.
Oh, thank you so much. I will be more than happy
I'd love
to
it.
come back to you, yes, with the movie and the game and the other books.
Absolutely. Please do. Thank you so much. And we will catch up to you soon. Have a great rest of your day.
Oh, thank you so much. Have a nice day too.
Thank you. And there you have it today. Porcupines, koalas, rhinos, and a whole world of characters reminding us that even fairy tales can carry big truths in small, funny packages. A heartfelt thank you to author Milana Anderson for her beautiful work and for showing us that stories don't just entertain, they connect us, they calm us, and sometimes gently nudge us back to what matters most. My thanks as well go to our sponsor, Longevity Gummies, powered by Mitopure. You can find out more about Mitopure and Longevity Gummies in our show notes today. If today's conversation sparked a memory, a laugh, or maybe even a little inspiration to share a story of your own, good. That's what we're here for. You can hear this episode and many more like it at notold-better.com. We'd love to hear from you. Follow us on Twitter at NotOldBetter and on Instagram at NotOldBetter. This is a production of NOBS Studios. I'm your host, Paul Vogelsang. Until next time, please be well, be safe. Let's talk about better and keep reading, keep connecting, and keep finding the magic in the everyday. The Not Old Better Show, Art of Living interview series on radio and podcast. Thanks, everybody. We will see you next time.